My hero says nice. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Has been hotel fan. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hasbin says, what type of comic is that supposed to be? I'm not sure how to answer that. Like, what do you mean by what type of comic? It's a comic. It's just a comic book that I'm working on. So it's a comic book, right? Caramel cake. You said it looks six. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's the book is it's a fan comic of Masters of the Universe. Long time ago, I just started coming up with ideas for the old Masters of the Universe animated show that I used to watch as a kid, and I started coming up with all these ideas, and I decided that you know what, I want to actually draw it, and so I've got like 5 volumes of it done, and this is volume 6. So I've been putting a lot of effort into this silly fan comic because it's just something I want to do. So it's like a sci-fi sword and sorcery kind of thing. I have them available. I have just actual physical copies of the book that I print up. So, like, this is how many I've done. This is the entirety of the work. That's book 1 right there. Then you got volume 2 there. That's volume 3. And then number 4. And then that's book 5. And they're all big. Like, this last one I did is 117 pages of story and art. So this one I'm working on is volume 6, and will be the wrap up to everything, and I can move on to something else that I can maybe monetize somehow. But I have copies of them, and they're available if people want to hit me up and call it a donation to the channel, and I can get copies to people if people are interested. Thanks, Combine, for the compliment. I appreciate that. Thanks, Pack Buncher. Appreciate it. Frankie Lawless, a nice style, got way more expression in the figures, and most of the crap being turned out at the big two. Well, thank you. That's a significant compliment. I don't know if I can agree with that in that I don't know, I'm not that good, but I'm trying, so, I mean. Combine asked, do I enjoy drawing it? I mean, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't get enjoyment out of it, that is for sure. I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing this. I've got this story that I want to tell, and I've got 5 big volumes that I can show people, like I have something to show. I may not work for Marvel or DC, which I don't know that I even want to, but I have a comic that I can show people, so I do enjoy it. Chef Wax produced it, says I had to scroll through a ton of charlatans and SSI beneficiaries to get here. I subbed. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Just like I was saying earlier, just working on my own comics here. Like, this is the page I did just previously. It's not completely done, but yeah, I got quite the pile of Alpha Channel. You here for the music? But anyway, yeah, this is just all the stuff I've been working on. Thanks, Alpha. AA says, ever heard of the Star Jammers? The only Star Jammers I'm aware of are the ones in the X-Men comics, and that's all. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to. Frankie Flawless, there's something to be said about the fortitude of an artist being able to make it to the table and get stuff onto the page. Kudos. I mean, that's one thing that I'm never one to say I'm better than anybody at anything, but I sit down and I make my books. You know what I mean? And it's something I could say I've got the discipline to do. It's fun, and I can pump these pages out and like I said, I'm close to getting done with the volume 6 of my little fan comic here, and then it'll be on to something else. But getting the story done. FBI says, did you draw that or color that? Yeah, I did everything. I do all the black and white artwork. This is all me. Like, it's kind of hard to get in camera, but these are all the pages that I've done here for volume 6. It's something like 60 pages so far. I've got about another 60 to go. Trying to get these done by September for a comic convention. So, yeah. I got... It's quite the pile. Again, I'm trying to show, yeah, here's all my pages for my current volume, if you can get any kind of sense of how much, how much work I've put into it so far for this book. It takes about a year to do. Ugh. So, AA, if you're asking what ink, if you're asking what kind of ink I use, this right here, Dr. Phil Martin's Black Star Matte, that's my favorite. And then I do use, technical pens, Pitt pens and microns. Just kind of depends on the day and what I'm doing. Frankie, you say you think I should redraw Youngblood #1 and send it to Liefeld? Yeah, he would ignore me. I've actually had like a project in mind of like redrawing an entire Liefeld comic just to see if I could pull it off. It's something I've thought about. I don't know that I'll ever actually do it because that's a lot of investment of time into something that's ultimately kind of pointless. But I've thought about it a lot. I do have a page here that I inked. I practiced inked. I did practice inks over Liefeld. I did this. That's Liefeld pencils, and I did practice inks on it. This is a couple years old. So I was like, I gotta see what it's like to ink this guy. I did the same thing with Joe Mad. I inked this. Just trying to see if I could get these big round shapes done right. Right, fellas? This one was a lot of fun. Joe Mad's hard to do as well, but it's always practicing. But yeah, the Liefeld one, that was an adventure and trying to figure it out. But big round shapes, right? You know what's up, Combine. Joe Mad didn't design that character with athleticism in mind. Thanks, Frankie. Two totally different feels on both those inks. One crisp and clean and 90s, and the other was so organic. Yeah, that's why I try to practice them, because it's like they're very different. So it's like, well, what can I do? What can I pull out of these? Can I make it work? And I mean, I don't think anyone's going to hire me as an inker, but you know, that's how you learn, right? Keep you just keep trying, and hopefully, in theory, you'll eventually get it right. That is fair. I'm like, why draw feet when I can just throw some rubble up in the way? I'd rather be a Mike Mignola Jr. because he does weird feet things, but he's way more talented. I gotta let this ink dry. You can kind of see that it's still wet, so I gotta move on to a different part of the page. So we'll move up. Draw this tackling scene up here. Frankie, I don't color at all. I only do black and white. Because one, I can't color. I don't know how to color. It's not my thing. And all my books that I've done are all black and white on the interiors. I pay other people to color the covers, front and back. Ugh. Like, yeah, I pay other people to color so I can have the covers colored. But yeah. I can't color, so, and that's one, because I can't do it. Two, paying somebody to color all my pages would be outrageously expensive, because that's a lot, because I make big ass books, and it would be a lot more expensive to print them in color. So I'm just like, I just do black and white, and it is what it is. Michael Turner says, can you tattoo? Have you ever thought about tattooing? A lot of people ask me that, and the answer is no. I've got this real big hang up about I'm never happy with my artwork, and the last thing I want to be doing is inking something permanently on somebody's body, and then I'll just look at it and be like, man, I fucked that up. So it's a discipline that is not for me. Plus, I'm not interested in being in a tattoo shop. I'd rather be at my drawing table telling my own stories. I had an old roommate who used to, he's one of the best artists I've ever known. He decided one day he was going to get into tattooing. So he apprenticed at a place and put in a couple years and was making really good money, and even started his own shop with a couple of buddies. But then after a couple of years, he just gave it up, sold it, and moved on. I was like, what the hell, dude? Why did you quit? He's like, every day is people walking in asking me to design them something, and I have to do it because I have to take the job. And he's like, I could never do anything for myself. I could never do artwork for me. It's always like an intense time crunch to find something good for these other people so I could get their business. And he's like, it made me start to hate art. I don't even want to do art anymore. So he's like, I had to get out of it. I was done. And I feel like that would be me. I'm not interested in tattooing. I'm interested in drawing shit that makes me happy. Combine. Yeah, I know. I'm also one of those old school guys. I'm a dying breed. I draw on paper. That's all I'm gonna do. I understand the advantages of digital. I do. I really do. I have no interest in drawing digitally. I don't like reading comics digitally. I don't want to create them digitally. I know there's tons of advantages. I know this, but this right here, what I'm doing right now, doesn't exist in digital world. An original piece of work. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as an original with digital. It's just a file that could be deleted or reproduced infinitely. But this is an original page that I touched and made, and I get to like hand it off to my children, you know, years later. Hopefully they'll be interested in what daddy was doing. That's me. That's what I find interesting about it. I like having originals, and I just like making it by hand. I feel like there's a stronger discipline in a way. Maybe not stronger, it's just different, and it's what I like. Alpha Channel, you tried what? Are you talking tattooing? You tried for a year, almost a year. Michael Turner, you say, who's my favorite artist? Who inspired you the most? Or are you self-inspired? You're very talented. I can't narrow it down to one. I have several that I would list as my favorites if you guys are, you know, comic art fans. My favorites include Mark Silvestri, and, you know, if anybody watches my YouTube channel here, I do comic book reviews, and Mark Silvestri is just always one of my favorites, especially his older stuff. Adam Hughes, Mike Mignola, J. Scott Campbell, Joe Madureira, Travis Charest, Jim Lee. Used to be like, young me was like, Jim Lee is God. There is no one better than him ever, and there never will be. Now that's changed as time has gone on, obviously, but just a lot of different artists with a lot of different styles that, you know, inspire me. The last person I'm ever inspired by is myself, because it's always like, yeah, I could do better. I should have done better. I just made a mess of everything. So... Frankie Floss, what are these new hotshots going to do when they don't have original pages to sell at cons? I mean, that's part of it, but I go to my local comic conventions and people just make up art prints, and those digital artists can do all kinds of effects and vibrant colors and just make art prints, and everyone buys them, you know? There's not a lot of people interested in the black and white art market unless you're just astounding or you're some kind of name. So I do shoot myself in the foot a little bit, but I will make prints for comic conventions and, again, pay people to color them, and so that works somewhat. Yeah, no problem, Michael Turner. You know, I don't mind responding. Faded out for a minute, but I think we're still good to go. Now it's time to fill in some blacks on these guys and do some backgrounds. Time to bust out the whole bottle of ink and a brush. I should do a Batman drawing? Is that what you're saying there, Larry Lovings? I like that rim lighting. Dela Cruz, you like that music? Just this techno stuff that's copyright free that I found on YouTube, so I can listen to it while streaming and not get like YouTube crawling up my butt about playing music that's copyrighted. So yeah, I mean, I guess part of me, Frankie, I guess I kind of get it, I guess, in that if I made something and somebody else was making money off it, without my permission, I guess I'd be mad. But music is available to listen to anywhere, but they just can't. You can't like play it while streaming because like, oh no, copyright. I guess all it does is it says that I can't monetize my live stream, but it's not like I make any money on these anyway, so I guess I don't care. I shouldn't care. I should just play whatever the hell I want, but just trying to be cautious. Combine says, you know Valve? I don't know what that means, so I guess I'm going to say no if we're talking about music. If it's some kind of something with music, I don't know what that is, so I apologize. Oh yeah, this one over here. I wasn't liking the way it looked. I might have made a. I was gonna say I could take a. I have like a gel pen. I might go around the edge of it and give it some rim lighting, but I wasn't liking it. I'm liking it better on this guy because it's kind of separating him. But I made a decision in the moment, and yeah, I wasn't digging it, but I might go back with some white media and try and add some more back on there and see if I like it. We'll see. Combine says, the one who made Steam, basically, games. I don't know. I'm not a gamer, so I wouldn't know about that type of stuff. Well, you're Dela Cruz. Like I said, I'll go back and I'll see. I'm not 100% certain I made the right decision, but we'll see. You're kind of. I know what I intended it to look like. I don't feel like I was nailing it. But we'll go back and see once I'm done. See if I can add some rim lighting on it. Mr. Dela Cruz, you've joined my streams before, right? You've been on here, right? We've spoken before, I think. Jim Lee with the silhouettes. If I could be anything like Jim Lee, that'd be awesome. Especially old school Jim Lee. Okay, yeah, once or twice. I was gonna say I recognize your name. Thing with silhouettes is I've intentionally tried to give each character here a kind of a distinct profile and body shape. You know, this guy's got these like strappy things around his legs and his midsection of his body. Can't see him because his arms are folded around. This is a short, squat, muscular guy. He's an Asian guy, so he's got like a top knot on the top of his head. This guy's a big, monstrous guy with spikes on his head. So I try to make the silhouettes of them all distinct enough that you could tell them apart at a glance. Punisher War Journal. My favorite Jim Lee is his Uncanny X-Men work. To me, that was just the best stuff. Even, like, he could still draw really well, obviously, but there's something about his old school stuff on Uncanny X-Men that was... Frankie Lawless, you say anytime I do a silhouette, I find myself wanting to do big McFarlane eyes and a smile like he does in his Hulk run. That type of stuff, just for me personally, I never liked that kind of eyes bugging out and the smile. I mean, I get it. I get the reason why people do it, but I don't know. It's just a preference. Love Divine Right. That'll be the next Jim Lee thing for me to review on my channel. I've done all his X-Men that I have. I don't have every Uncanny X-Men issue he's ever done, but most of them. And then his regular X-Men run. And then I just did all his Wildcats. And the next thing to do that I have is Divine Right. I remember thinking it had some promise. I felt like it started out kind of strong, but I think it just turned into kind of standard stuff by the end. But that's just my kind of opinion on it. Antoine Dennison, how's it going? How about X-Men #1? No one reviews that. I could sense the sarcasm, sir. Yeah, that's one of the first ones I did. I had my brother join me, and we sat down and talked about, we're like, everyone's reviewed this. Everyone said everything about it, but we were interested in talking about, like, what did it mean to us as kids? Because, man, there was nothing bigger than that book at the time. He says, are those guys headed through the mines of Moria? That's funny you say that. That's interesting. All these guys right here actually were in a cave in the side of a mountain, which is what this little spot in the background is. They were there, but the story is this evil witch kidnapped a child from a local village to sacrifice it to open up a portal to hell. And they rescued the kid. Now they're running through the forest to get away. They've saved the kid. That's who this guy's carrying right here. So they were in a cave area. Right now they're just in a forest. Dela Cruz, a mutant milestone, right? That was like the funnest time in comics for me as a kid. Like, that shit was so good. Frankie, you say pretty picture without a story is just a photo book. Music without direction is just noise. There you go. Exactly. Most times you really need the right group of people to come together to make shit work. 100%. And it seems kind of rare where there's that right balance of right artist, right writer, right character, right time. It's all subjective. I mean, I've read books that I think are absolute garbage. And I know people just like, it's the greatest thing I've ever read in my life. I'm like, really? But again, we all got different tastes. Remember kids going nuts with the X-Men and tracing paper? I never saw anybody doing that where I was at, but I 100% believe it. Because we all wanted to trace off those Jim Lee Wolverines and then those Jim Lee, like, hot girl bodies. Because as a young man, to me, man, Jim Lee drew the hottest girls on the face of the planet. Like, holy Lord. Those issues with Rogue and the Savage Land, stop it. Antoine, when you're a kid, your literary resume is short. That is very true. You're right, Delacruz. Mostly the Wolverine, Psylocke, Gambit, sewer shot for sure. Yes, 100%. Oh, that one was quite the so exciting. It was so fun back in the day. Frank, you think Frank Cho draws the best women? I think Adam Hughes draws the best women, personally. That's my yeah, if we're talking about the most attractive women, I just bust out this thing, and when I just start going through, especially the trying to find, there's so many good ones. Yeah, these faces that Adam Hughes does, and he colors these too. Oh, this stuff is just so good. That face. Again, Adam Hughes doing his own coloring. A lot of the drawing comes from him just coloring himself, but even his black and white artwork is spectacular. Antoine, you like the way Adam Hughes draws a bit better, but you love the Frank Cho booties. That is for real. Frank Cho loves them thick asses, and so do I. Yeah, I'm just on board with Adam Hughes. God, the guy can just do so good. Anyway, but yeah, I got that cover run. I also have the Frank Cho one. And these grayscale drawings. Let's see. Like, suddenly the channel just got a little adult, but holy crap, is that like, to do that with a ballpoint pen. Just, holy Lord. I've tried to do that ballpoint pen stuff, and absolutely not. Yeah, this ballpoint pen art. There's them thick booties we was talking about, right, Antoine? Right there. My finger did not intend to go to that spot, but we know what's up. Love this one. Love the shadows on that. It's so good. So yeah, Frank Cho for sure. Even his oil paintings, like look at this one. This is like I think it's like a 4 foot by 6 foot oil painting he's been working on for years. Just huge. I think it looks pretty damn good. You know what sucks is way back in the day, Frank Cho did that Shauna the She-Devil series for Marvel, and as I understand it, he drew the entire thing with her like topless because it was supposed to be under like a max line, like an adult line, so they're gonna have like giant Frank Cho titties running around for like 6 issues. But then Marvel got under like new management, they absolutely would not have that, and so they required him to cover it up. And I'm like, oh, what a bunch of prudes. I want a book of Frank Cho titties bouncing around. Yes, I'm childish like that. Sankey, okay, does it only have drawings of women? If you're talking about that Frank Cho book, it's women and like lizards, basically, because he knows where his money's made. Get a shout out to the grandfather of thick women, Frank Frazetta. Hell yeah, yeah. And monkeys, right, Antonio? Yeah, there were monkeys in there, yeah. But yeah, Frazetta for sure, for real. He showed us all. He showed us the light and the way. He's like, and thus did the Lord create thick asses, and he saw that it was good. And we agreed as we stood and basked in its glory. Chunky asses. Gage Greer says, hello, and do I talk at all? I don't know. Everybody in the chat, am I a chatter? Gage Greer says, bye. Dela Cruz, do you put any pinup art in your comic issues like Spawn? Book 4, right here. The back of it. Pin up there, penciled by one of my lady friends that I inked. Pin up by my brother. Pin up of Trap Jaw by a friend. And then I put the cover to the next issue in black and white. That's me. But then issue 5, all the way to the back here. There's my dumbass, in case anybody's wondering, and friend of mine, Jessica, who joins me on live streams, and then this girl who art modeled for me in the book a little bit, a friend and my brother. But anyway, another buddy did that He-Man pin up there. Another friend of the channel drew this Fisto for me. Another buddy of mine did this kind of cartoony He-Man Skeletor. Another buddy of mine drew this whole, sorry, I can't really show it this way. It kind of doesn't show it all. I guess I could, this big group shot of the bunch of Masters of the Universe characters. That's my brother right there doing She-Ra there. Another guy did this one, cross-hatched his life away, man. I thought that came out really awesome. And then that's a pinup I did as a commission for somebody of Cringer over here. My friend Jessica drew this in pencil and I inked it for her. And then another guy I know, Chris Anderson, did this one. So, yeah. So, short answer, yes, I do. And then back cover's all me. But yeah, I throw in pinups in the back. I actually like that kind of stuff. Part of my reason for making my comics available as such a big, damn thick-ass book is like, I want you to feel like you're getting your money's worth. You know, I ask $20 a book, but you're not getting 17, 18, 20 pages of story. You're getting a big, full reading experience with tons of art and then some pinups. I want it to be worth your time. So that's why I make them big and try to cram it full of stuff that, again, makes it worth your time and money and effort if you're interested in picking them up. Plus, I've got a shit ton of story to tell, so I just can keep going and going and going. I'm getting close to finishing it up. Very close. Antoine Dennison, he said my brother did some good lighting there. I thought so on that He-Man one. I think that's what you're referring to. I thought he really nailed it. I told him, I said, damn, man, you really made that one look really good. Combine, when am I going to put text? Well, I mean, I got to finish all the artwork first. I got to, you know, finish all the artwork. And I don't even have a script written. I have, like, an outline, but I wait till all the art's done, and then I'll take all the artwork and go through it page by page with, I'll go through it and script it once all the artwork is done. Antoine Dennison, man, you just become my best friend. Planetary is one of my most favorite comics of all time, and I've recently got them all out, and I've been rereading them over the last couple of nights because I'm planning on putting them up on the channel because I feel like Planetary is something that gets forgotten. Warren Ellis is such a good writer. He wrote so many things I just absolutely love, and Planetary, I think, is his best thing. I mean, I haven't read everything he's done, but I thought his Authority run was brilliant. I thought his Stormwatch run was brilliant, but Planetary is just so good. So I'm going to have that up as a review on my channel because no one talks about it. And I think that's a shame because he's so good. Dela Cruz, do I still talk to that gentleman who inked for Wildstorm? We're talking about Chuck Gibson. Yeah, he's still inking some pages for me. He's still working on it. In fact, he sent me a finalized version just recently. In fact, I could even show it right here. Let me pull it up. Yep, Chuck Gibson. Let me pull up this page that he just inked for me. He does digital. It's downloading. But yeah, that right there, he just inked that for me. I've kind of lost track at 10, 12 pages he's done for me. It's pretty freaking fantastic to have the opportunity to have somebody who inked over Jim Lee himself, who worked for Wildstorm Studios, and he's doing some inks for me. And I penciled the shit out of this drawing, and I actually was really kind of excited to ink it myself, but he asked if he could. I'm like, absolutely. And I really wanted to, but I feel like he nailed it like better than I could. So, yeah. It's really fun to see what he does. Let's see. I got a couple more I could show. It's got a... Let's see. It's another page he did. Yep. That's one. Let's see.
But guess what? Somebody's arrived.
It's uploading. This one was fun. Like the buildings and stuff. Not the funnest thing in the world to draw, but you know, you got to do it. So that was fun. And he's good with textures. That's what he told me up front. He's like, I'm really good with textures, I think. And I think he's right. Had to draw a baby. And then evil witch. I don't know if anyone can catch anything from just looking at this. It's just doesn't have my actual email address on here. But I hear you. Another page he inked for me. Got some boobies. Let's see. I gotta like download all these and save them. Let's see. This is one of the ones I feel like he did. Like this one came out really well. Yeah, I like that one. That page, I felt like he really nailed like the furry textures on this beast man here. Like he just brings a whole new level to it. Anyway, that's a little quick like showing of stuff that Chuck has done. I follow Richard Friend on his social medias, obviously, and I mean, I can't say I talked to him. I've left a comment here or there, and he's pretty good at responding, honestly. But that's it. He's so good. He's just so damn good at what he does. You drew some issues yourself and was trying to find some sick inkers. Yeah, it's hard to find an inker, I think, because unless somebody's a really professional and knows what they're doing. I mean, an inker needs to know how to draw. I watch a lot of guys. I got a couple of friends that are trying to make it as an inker, and I'm like, they can't draw. And so therefore their inks look terrible. I don't have the heart to tell them that their shit sucks. Like, I'm not trying to like bring anybody down. And then I get people asking me, hey man, can I ink for you? And the honest answer is, I just want to do it myself. But most of these guys, I would not be interested in having work over my stuff. Chuck is obviously very different because he's done professional work over some of the biggest names. And I was still a little like nervous about what it was going to look like. But once the pages started coming in, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is fine. But finding a good inker, and especially digital inks, I hate it when digital inks look overtly digital. I like it more hand-drawn. But yeah, I'm more interested in the hand-drawn aspect. And a lot of Chuck's stuff has a digital vibe to it with some of his like effects. Like he'll do smoke or shining gleams, but when he's actually inking the figures, it's got a nice, thick, chunky, kind of like hand-inked style, in my opinion, which is why I'm really a fan of it. Antoine, you've known Rich friend since the mid-90s. He sent you a copy of his Wildcats run with Charest back in the day. Rich is a friend to all... he seems like a really cool guy. Really legit dude. Yeah. John Alves, what is the name of this comic? Well, it's a fan comic. It's a He-Man fan comic. It's called... just trying to get the book itself in hand. It's a Master's End. So... yeah, that's what it is. I actually love inking, even though I don't feel like I'm very good at it. I know what I want my inks to look like, and I almost never get that look out of it, but I don't know. I still find it fun, but I know what I want it to look like, and I'm almost never at that level, so it's frustrating. And for me, I feel it's kind of a necessary thing because, well, I'm not going to have anybody else do it. Again, outside of Chuck, who came along, and on my birthday at the beginning of January, he sent me an email, and he watched one of my videos where I was showing off my pages, and we'd been talking back and forth. And Chuck had actually inked. Chuck Gibson joined in on a live, and he'd been watching my channel for a while. And he'd been chiming in with some comic reviews, giving some insider information. And I was doing a live stream saying that my birthday was coming up. And he says, hey, I'll ink a drawing for you for your birthday. And I was like, holy shit, are you serious? So he did, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I love it so much. Let me find it. Yeah, this is what Chuck Gibson inked for me. I penciled this, and he did digital inks over it. Blew my mind. And then on my birthday, at the beginning of January, he saw a video where I was doing my own artwork. And he said that me showing my pages and my kind of passion for what I'm doing got him excited to do comics again because he's been out of comics for a while. And he's like, send me some of those pages. I'll ink them for you. I'll let me help you finish your book. Because he wants to... his words were that, he's a little bit older. He's in his mid-50s. He says that he wants to get back in the comics game. He wants to create while he still has some, fire inside him to do it, to create. And he liked what I do. He said to me, his words, I mean, people may not believe this, but I got the email. He says that if I would have been at this level at my, back in the day, he said, I would have taken you straight to Jim Lee. and said you should consider this guy's work. And I got that. I woke up on my birthday to that email from him, which was like the greatest thing I'd ever heard in my life. But he's like, let me do some inks for you. You ask, are professional inks expensive? He's doing it for free for me. He just wants to practice, like he wants to learn techniques. He wants to practice his craft. He wants to get his workflow going, his words. And he wants to create, like I was saying, his words were to me is like, while he's still got ability and some fuel in like that fire, like in that, how Rocky Balboa said in that movie, he's like, there's still something in the basement. He's like, I still got shit I can do. And he liked my stuff enough that he offered like, I'll just send me pages, I'll ink them. So it's so fucking great. And hopefully when I get done with this book, him and I will kind of spin off and try to create something together. Maybe we can crowdfund it. And I think it would be really helpful to be able to say former Wildstorm Comics, Image Comics inker Chuck Gibson. It would make me stop and look. It would halt me in my, like flipping through Kickstarter shit. But, here's one that says like former Wildstorm inker. I'm like, oh, really? Let's see. But he does such good stuff. I love this thing. I mean, it's a printout, because he does digital, but I printed it out and framed it. I love it. So, yeah, Chuck is, it'll be kind of like a give, he's talked about doing something on his own. He said he might come to me for layouts. He said something to that effect once, but maybe we'll work together. And if we can crowdfund it, because I've got a little bit of an audience with my channel. So, crowdfunding might be successful that way. Plus with his name on it, if we create some, maybe we can crowdfund a book and maybe we can make something and make a few bucks on the side. There's plans. I just have to finish this damn thing first. I told him, I said, look, I 100% want to work with you, but I've put so much time and effort into these 5 volumes of this fan comic. I'm right at I was like a third of the way through book 6. I've got to finish this. I can't put it off to the side. He's like, all right, let's finish it first. So it's pretty fucking awesome. It's pretty mind-blowing. Like I said, he's done 11 or 12 pages for me already. So he's a very generous guy, and I'm lucky to have ran into him. It's kind of validating to have a guy be like, you're good enough, I'll work with you. I'm like, oh shit, really? Color me humbled. Antoine, that's what Chuck was saying to me. In fact, I told him recently when he sent me a page, I said, man, I'm not worthy of your efforts, man. Like, how can I thank you enough? And he's like, actually, you're very worth it, because he's like, his words again, like, you're clearly doing this because you love to do it. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. I can't, like, again, I do offer these books, and I'm not going to say I sell them. I make them available, and what we call it a donation to the channel. But I can't ever ultimately do anything with it because it's a copyrighted thing, right? But I want to tell it. I've got this story and I want to do it. And I had this story in my head for years, and I was just like, it would be so neat to see. And one day I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make it. Like, I'm not gonna let it sit here, because like, I think anybody who makes comics, I assume we're all the same in that we've had ideas in our head for as long as you can remember. Oh, this story, you come up with that character or this character and different universes and characters and stories. And I come up with this one and I was like, oh, this would be so fun. I wish I could see it. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to make it. I'm just going to do it because I'm not going to let another thing sit in my head. I just considered it like practice. Like, if nothing else, it'll be good practice. And I didn't expect it to go quite as long as it has, but it's kind of my defining work so far. So, so I agree. I mean, thank you, Antoine. That means a lot. That's I run into a lot of people that talk about all the things they're gonna do in comics. I've got this idea. I've got these stories. I'm gonna make this comic. I'm like, uh-huh. Show me the pages. What have you worked on? It's been a year since we talked. What's new? Nothing? Okay. You know, or they got like 3 pages done and then they pack them around to show people their amazing work because people are like, oh, look, you're a comic artist. Oh, you've got pages drawn. Uh-huh. You've got 3 pages, but it's all you've done for the last 3 years. And so, I mean, I'm not trying to sound high and mighty, but I get sick of it. I've heard it enough. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay, well, when you do it, let me know. I'm telling your story. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Um, I mean, life gets us distracted. We all have jobs and life and maybe wives and kids. I mean, I got kids. They're actually here with me, but me and my boy's mom, we're not together anymore. So, this is my weekend to have him. So they're in the other room just watching whatever nonsense on TV. And, but I end up having a lot of free time. I mean, I have a full-time job, but it's just myself. So I can devote a lot of time to this. So, but even still, like if you, can a person pencil even 1 page a month? Like in 30 days, make 1 page. And then if you do that, you could have 12 pages done in a year. You know what I mean? Yeah, you say you don't want to die with your stories unrealized. And that's what I was just saying. That's what you're referring to, I was like, I've got so many ideas. I've got this giant epic sci-fi story in my head. I'm trying to remember what I used to call it. Oh my god, I'm so mad I can't remember what the hell I used to call it. But like, it's basically like a Star Wars ripoff, with everything else thrown in. I had like cybernetic warriors or like knights of the round table, called them cyber knights, and evil dragon queens and all kinds of crazy shit. And then I had my own. Once I started doing this He-Man fan fiction, I'm like, oh well. Once I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, I can't ever do anything with it. So I started creating my own characters that were like He-Man, but not. But then I'm like, but I want to tell the He-Man story. So anyway, I think we've all got a billion ideas in our head, and I was like, that's what I was saying is like, this is the one that's not gonna go unrealized. It's gonna get done, and I'm gonna wheel it into reality if it's the last thing I do. And I'm getting so close. I mean, like, this is gonna sound stupid, but I sit here finding myself going like, God, I hope I don't die before I finish this. I mean, I am 47, but I'm like, there's no reason I would die or anything. But it's like, God, I'd be so pissed off if I didn't get to finish this thing, and leave it uncompleted, incomplete. Combine, you say, do I do commissions? Generally speaking, I mean, short answer, yes. There is a certain amount of like, well, it depends on what you want. But yeah, I mean, I'm always trying to, you know, make money. So I do. I don't get hit up for commissions too often, and I don't like advertise it because I'm trying to do my book. So I'm not trying to like commissions are available, like, you know, commissions are open. I don't ever do anything like that because I just want to work on my book. But if somebody hit me up and be like, "Hey, I want this and I'll pay that," I'm like, oh, "All right, let's talk." D-Man, what's up, D-Man? Aqua Teen Hunger Force. All the stuff you won't watch, but you watch that. Just kidding, man. Just kidding. Anybody catching that new X-Men 97 series? I know D-Man doesn't like it, but that last episode was hella crazy. The town idiot says that's actually amazing. What part? We're going over a lot of things here. Sorry, I kind of lose track of what we're all talking about. Combine. I do have a Discord. If you go onto my channel and go under like where it just I post things, if you scroll back a little ways, I put a link to it. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I don't make very many posts, so in theory, it should still be on there. But yeah, I have a Discord. A couple of us are on there from the channel. And we talk and do art challenges. I do live streams with my friend Jessica almost every Thursday, where we often draw things that come up on the Discord, and then her and I get together. In fact, we have one planned tomorrow at like we haven't decided on a time. It's either 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock, but at night. But yeah, there's a Discord. You're asking, is the link dead? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I could put up one. No, I can't do it. I'll have to do it once I get off here. Town Eddie said, "Oh, sorry, I just meant your art. I can't even fathom that talent." Well, thank you. That is very kind of you to say. I appreciate that very much. I try my best. There's a million guys out there that are way better than me, but like I was saying, you know, if there's guys that are a better artist than me, and there's plenty of them, the one thing I have going in my favor is that I've actually made comics that people can read. I don't, I mean, I was going to say I don't like, that's a harsh word, but I guess it's kind of true when I say I don't like these artists that I keep running into on like Instagram that call themselves comic artists, and all they do are pinups. And they'll do some of the most beautiful pinups, like the most beautifully rendered Spider-Man or Batman or Wolverine that's way better than I could ever do. But I'm like, but you don't make comics. You just draw comic characters. You're not a comic artist. And that's just me being maybe a little egotistical. But my ass thinks if you're a comic artist, then show me your comic book. You don't have one, then you just draw comic characters. And that's, in my opinion, that's very different. But a lot of these guys probably make good money off that shit, so what the hell do I know? Are you, Town Idiot, you talking about the middle large pen? Like, I mean, it's kind of off. I got the guy getting tackled up here. But yeah, see, Anton, that's my thing. Top-notch illustrators, 100%. But again, make a comic. Don't call yourself a comic artist. And maybe I'm full of myself, you know, with my bullshit opinions. But like, a comic artist is somebody who draws and tells a story. Oh, this one right here. Yeah, sorry, I know. It's a He-Man fan comic, so if anyone knows the He-Man comics, this is Shadow Weaver. I actually started on this page because I was really interested in doing this bottom panel with these silhouette of these figures. I still gotta, I gotta ink in some trees in the background because they're in like a, up in the mountains. But yeah. D-Man knows all the Masters of the Universe characters. He's a connoisseur. Yeah, you're right, man. She turns out she's the main villain in this by this point in the story. Well, D-Man, I know you don't like the X-Men. I get it, but that last episode it went hardcore, which is what I loved about it. It wasn't soft as shit. Um, it had some violent stuff, and I was like, holy shit! Like for a Disney thing, they finally showed they had a set of balls on them. Oh yeah, I use them all the time, actually. Um, Sorry, I'm digging out. Like I've got the crow quill right here, and the brush. It just depends on kind of the mood I'm in and what I have to draw. I mean, it's a lot easier to control with these. But yeah, I do brush and the crow quill. It's quite the trick to figure out this thing. There's a Hunt 102. This is actually a 107, so it's a lot more rigid. It's not as flexible. But yeah, I use these. That's what I use my dip ink for that I was showing earlier. Besides the obvious filling in blacks. Yeah, D-Man, that's true. But yeah, Town Idiot, you said you used to have it on VHS. That's the old He-Man cartoon. I was a fan as a kid. I mean, I'm 47, so I grew up watching that shit. I just started coming up with story ideas, and so I'm like, got to make the comic. I have to do it. So here I am, 6 volumes into it, like a psycho. David Moultrie says, "Hi, I'm a fan." Well, hey, how's it going? But yeah, Antoine, if we're talking about if anyone watched the X-Men cartoon from the 90s on Disney, they've released a new version where they're basically picking up where that show left off with as much of the original cast as they could get. And it's surprisingly good. I had no faith that it was going to be. But I thought the first episode was pretty good. And then every subsequent one was kind of okay. But the last one I was balls deep into that one. But yeah, Combine. If you're asking about a Discord, I'll try to remember to put up a link again after I get off here. I'll throw another link up if that's since you asked, in case it's relevant. I'll throw one up there in case it's anything you want to see. I'm all about the nostalgia, D-man, as long as it's done right. I am a mark for that shit, but it's got to be done right, and that's the problem. It so rarely is. They just usually take our favorite old properties and ruin them and put a chick in it, make her gay. Yeah, right? Exactly. But they haven't done that with X-Men. The X-Men 97 on Disney. It's actually pretty good. I'm the last person that would have thought I'd be advocating for it, but they got me, man. Even my brother, my younger brother, he was not looking forward to it all. He did not give a shit. But even he's like hardcore into it. Literally just described the new She-Ra in 8 words. Put a chick in and make her gay. That is what they did, didn't they? I tried watching it, but I realized they didn't make that for me. They made that for children of today. And I'm like, all right, you're welcome to this shit version. I tried. I wanted to be like open-minded. I'm like, all right, let's see what you got. Impress me. And they did not. It was made for kids that just... That's okay. I didn't watch the new Thundercats. That weird like super cartoony version. I'm like, no, you guys are ruining it. You only watched because my nephew loved the intro song. I don't even remember the intro song. That's funny. See, Antoine, 100% with you. Usually when the character leads with the sexuality of the character, I mean, 100%. I don't care what they are. Make them whatever they are. But if that's the defining trait, I'm out. I don't care. I'm not here to know who character X, Y, and Z likes to fuck on the side. Like, can you just write a good character and then they can just be that just separately? But that seems to be the defining trait. Like, they are who they like to fuck. And that's a big problem with the world, is that they think that that's what's important. It's super not. But yeah, just make it good. Write a good story, and we'll be on board. Yeah, Town Idiot, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, again, if that's just your defining trait is I like to do this in the privacy of my own home, I'm like, I don't care. don't care. That being said, I do have a sex scene in my comic here, so what do I know? Well, I guess I shouldn't say I have a sex scene. It was implied that they did what they did, but then you just see the aftermath and they're undressed, but you don't actually see them banging. But it was like built up over 3 issues of this romantic relationship between these characters, and I felt like it was kind of an earned moment as my goal. I guess we'll see how it plays out when I actually have people read it. Character A, the bombs are going to land on the city. Character B, wait, we haven't talked about what goes on in my bedroom. Oh yeah, that's right. That'll solve the atomic bomb dropping from the sky. That's awesome. Yeah, the town idiot, you say, that's different in my opinion. Like, be just whatever, just be interesting. I mean, yeah. Like I was saying in my book, it's not the defining characteristics of anything. It's just like they're normal. I mean, and I'm doing, they're all hetero-based characters because I'm just basing them off the characters that they were in the original stories. And these two like built up a relationship, and then it culminated into they got together. But I tried to earn it. Like I said, I've been building it up for several issues, so I think it works. Yeah, I think you're right, D-Man. They're trying to like make an audience that's like the smallest number of people, make them happy at the expense of everyone else, and then tell you that you're a monster for not liking it. And I disagree with that profoundly. Just keep the character what they are. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Town Idiot, especially if it's for kids. But they seem to be selectively, specifically targeting that. They're like, no, we're going to talk to the kids. Antoine say the companies are using sexuality as a shield against mediocre storytelling. I would write gay characters better than these. I mean, right? Yeah, because we're not going to make it the focus of the story. It's not what it's about. It's about this person. And they just happen to be that, and that's fine. But don't sit here and tell me I'm like, this is a defining trait. We need to speak up for all these people. No, you people don't know what good storytelling is. Well, hey, SNM, you just got here. We're just talking comics, right, everybody? That's what we're discussing, 100%. Conversations tend to take themselves where they want to go. But I agree with all you guys. Like, it's not hating just to like want stuff that isn't such a focus on something that's not important or shouldn't be for kids. Yeah. Yeah, seriously, Anton, like, despite the sexualized proportions, no one ever talked about sexuality on He-Man Transformers, although we knew Prince Adam was sus. He was suspect, wasn't he? Oh, that's funny. They just went so far in the other direction to make him seem like a cowardly, timid guy that when he machoed out into He-Man, no one would ever suspect. And you know what? It works. Thanks, Demi. I'm actually just about done with this panel, and I think I'm happy with the way it's turning out. I think I have mostly satisfaction on it. What's next? What's next? That's fair. It's kind of hard with the black and white. Like, if this is going to be colored, I might do it differently. But I don't know. It was supposed to be kind of like a focus of silhouettes. The silhouette of the figures and then the trees. Because I wanted them to be up front and then have like the distant mountains in the background. Yeah, it's always a guessing game. I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, I'm never sure. It's always tricky. Only He-Man should be wearing the furry underwear. He's honestly the only one that I've left in it. There were a lot of characters that had the furry underwear in my little fan comic here, and I changed out the outfits on all of them except He-Man because exactly. Combine, you say 7 hours for page? What do you mean by that? Sage, what are the dimensions of the paper? It's standard comic, like American comic book dimensions. It's 11 by 17. Kind of like just kind of classic traditional American comic book stuff. You know what's funny, D Man? My Beast Man in this thing, since he's been reincarnated, he doesn't wear anything. He's literally like a naked, hairy werewolf guy. And if I have to draw a scene where you see catch a little silhouette of his little flaccid cock, it might be in there. But I'm not putting him in anything since he was killed in the issue 1. He's been reincarnated, and he's just running around like a violent, mean werewolf. He's gonna rip the shit out of He-Man. Hey, D-Man, unblock Combine. He's been talking for a while. He's fine. Antoine says Dick Blick has had a sale on that 300-pound Strathmore 11 by 17, about 30 pads for $7 a pad. Oh, damn. I got to go to my local Dick Blick store. I might do that tomorrow. Yeah, I can never have too much paper because I know I'm going to use it. And I go to my local hobby shop around the corner, but there's a Dick Blick store about 45 minutes into Salt Lake City, so I don't know. I don't know, D-Man. I kind of need to go to Dick Blick just anyway. He just kind of gave me an excuse to justify the trip tomorrow. I'm going to be, all right, kids, come on. No, seriously, the town idiot, Dick Blick. You thought it was just a funny name. The first time I heard it, it's like a legit art store. But I'm like, who names their art store that? But yeah, it's like all your art supplies. Sage says, "Is the texture thick for the paper compared to a piece of print? Like this printer paper is garbage compared to this. This is like a thick, like board, you know." And you can get them in like a vellum surface, which is like a thicker, like grainy tooth, and then a smooth surface, which is what I get for the inking. But yeah, I get. Let me show you what I get. I buy these Strathmore Smooth. I get these for about they're like $17 a pad, but the art store I go to most of the time has like buy one get the second one at half price, so I'll pick up two at a time. It's good stuff. I think it works great. I keep hearing about that famously incredible Image Comics paper they had back in the 90s. Yeah, it's really good stuff. I wish I could know what that really good paper from the old Image Comics guys is, but this is pretty good stuff. I mean, I can't speak on, how good it is compared to a lot of other stuff, but it works for me. So, yeah. Master's touch. Don't touch me, master. Keep your hands to yourself. They make good paper, I think. Now, if only I could be as popular and talented as Rob Liefeld. That's interesting, Antoine Dennison. I never heard that. I've heard artists talk about like back in the day, the old Image Comics paper used to be so damn good. It was like amazingly high quality, great stuff. And I've always been like, well, what is it that they did? I keep hearing now the sable hair brushes. You can't get them anymore because the specific kind of hairs on the brush were from some kind of like animal that is now endangered, so you can't. Apparently, it was some kind of like obnoxious weasel rat thing in another country, but you can't get your nice sable hair brushes. So all brushes are, from what I understand, like lacking severely by comparison. And I just buy cheap brushes anyway, but yeah, Blick pretty much killed all the art stores except Michael's. Those are the two that I go to. Well, I go to Michael's. There's also one called Hobby Lobby here in Utah. Yeah. Rich Friend talks about that. I've heard him talk about that. Yeah, I've always kind of curious. D-Man, you want to explain yourself to Julius Fernando? Tell him it was a mistake. So Anton, I'm definitely 100% okay with that. Like I'm not like I'm not interested in like inhumane murdering of animals for sure. I didn't know how that went. But yeah, Chuck Gibson was talking about it. He said he was talking about how they used to collect those hairs from some kind of, he referred to as some kind of like, I can't remember, some kind of like rodent type creature, but I guess they're endangered and wherever they're from. So I get that. It's kind of weird that we can't get, from what I understand, better brushes from somewhere else. But good quality stuff comes from wherever it comes from, right?
No, that's absurd. Hey, remember when you used to be what was it, Pepper Lady?
Cinnamon Sisters?
Hazel Babes.
Saffron Squad?
Nutmeg Maidens?
Combine, Julius. It was just a mistake on our end. Apologies. We often get people come along and saying weird, like goofy shit, and being weird. But just a mistake on our end, Combine. I've appreciated your conversations that we've been doing here, so thank you. Just a mistake. Yeah, see, Town Idiot, that's exactly it. We kept running into like just people saying the weirdest stuff, and there's a certain point where it's like, all right, we're done, you know, putting up with the weird random insanity that people want to show up and be weird about. Yeah, you're not wrong, Town Idiot. People are just, yeah, people are getting mean and rude for no reason. Sage, you say, how do you work out pacing angles for such panels? Do you map all out? Yeah, so basically, yes. Let me grab an example. I write the story down in my head. Like I'll write it down on like note paper, and then I'll take and do thumbnails like this and work out the storytelling on these little small pages like this. So I have every page kind of worked out in really rough form. And then once I get these done, then I'll kind of basically just take this layout in very rough form that I've done here and take it to the final board. It's just practice of storytelling. I mean, if you read comics, study movies, study cinematography, understand how to compose an image and how to have people foreground, middle ground, background. You have to study how to keep characters kind of placed in your story in a way that people can follow it. You don't want to have a character that was standing to the right of somebody in one panel and then suddenly they're off to the left. If you do that, you're called Rob Liefeld. But it's just studying storytelling and then working it out small first before you go to the final board. So let's just practice. Townie, you're saying people on that other live stream, even the person doing the live was yelling. Boy, if you ever catch me yelling on my live, something's gone wrong. Because it's like, I come here to have fun. You know what I mean? To chit chat, talk art, and yeah, storytelling's the important part. Can't just draw the pretty pictures as much as that would be fun. Antoine, I say you've been thinking about drawing your roughs and finished pencils digitally, then printing them out as blue lines. I know a lot of people that do that, and that's a place where I can see digital being really useful because you can do all your roughs and you can move them around and change your storyboard or your patterns and your panels and figure out your storytelling, and then print it out and then do your finished artwork like that. I'm pretty sure that Ryan Otley, who drew Invincible, that he draws that way. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that do it. It's just one that comes to mind. I know he used to do everything traditional by hand, but he moved on to digital, and will show that he still wants to have a physical original artboard, but he'll do all his storytelling and layouts and roughs digitally. So that's definitely an advantage of the digital stuff for sure. AJ says loves art and he's going to hopefully become a graphic designer and animator. Like, go for that dream, buddy. Do it. Get it. I didn't know that Ed Piskor did it roughs like that. That's interesting. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah, Antoine, I gotta have an original. That's me. I gotta have an original piece of artwork. Not that anyone's buying my shit, but that's fine. When Rob gets real big on YouTube, he'll need more than one mod. Yeah. I'm approaching 3,000 subscribers. That's still mind-blowing to me. I'll probably hit that. I could honestly hit it in a week or two. It's wild. It's unbelievable to me. It's not like it's that big a deal, but it's more than I ever thought would ever happen when I started doing this shit. AJ, a girl. All right, sorry, my apologize. Get it, girl. Be a animator and graphic designer and animator. Go for it. Yeah, Antoine's right. Like, careful. Suddenly everyone's going to chat you up. Yeah, Antoine, that whole Ed Piskor thing pisses me off. I'm so mad at what happened to him. I can't stop thinking about it. Somebody posted and said, like, this is the guy who loved comics more than anything in the world, and comics killed him. And it just enrages me to know there's people out there that were, like, attacking him, trying to tear him down. And now they're like, what? I didn't do anything. This sucks that he's gone. I'm like, uh-huh. All you people fucking killed him. All right, Tom Gristle, get it. Go be a potato. Yeah, Adam Brooks. Yeah, I keep dwelling on, like, I didn't know the guy. I just listened to him for years on YouTube. And it's like, it shouldn't have come to that. There's no way that people needed to do what the fuck they did. And I don't think he needed to solve the problem by doing what he did. I think that sucks, but how low he must have sunk to how he felt in his heart to take it to that place. I can't imagine how down a person must be It sucks. It just infuriates me and makes me mad that it went that way. Now his whole family, he had a bright future. It's gone. Yeah, Antoine, seriously, dude, just disconnect. It'll blow over. Just draw, man. Just create your work. Say your piece, like in his suicide note. You know, I felt like he stood up for himself. He's like, I didn't do that. Maybe I was stupid. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. But I didn't do anything wrong, and I didn't have any ill intent. And I was like, yeah, I don't think he did either. There's no proof anything bad happened, but he just Well, thanks for joining in, AJ. You have to go to sleep because you're going to your friend's birthday party tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have a good time. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, D-Man, I see that too. A person's got to take a balanced approach. You can't just be like, can't go too far. You got to look at keep our opinions straight. Town idiot, who is Ed Piskor? So, depending on how well you know comics or anything, he and another guy named Jim Rugg have had a YouTube channel called Cartoonist Kayfabe. They've been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years. They're working professionals, very successful, and they have a channel where they would just talk comics, and they built up a huge following, and were very well liked and appreciated. I mean, once you get to a certain success level, of course you're going to get detractors and haters and shit like that. There's always going to be people talking shit. That's fine. But there was some girl come along and accused him a couple years ago of when she was 17 of trying to groom her and have inappropriate conversations with her, and she shared some text messages that looked bad at a glance, and everyone just piled on this guy, this Ed Piskor, calling him out, saying he's this, that, he's canceled, he's done, he needs to quit, he's the worst thing on the planet, he's horrible. I'm like, okay, this looks bad, it looks weird, but why don't we let him respond? We don't know what context this was in. We don't know what was actually said. And it got to be so bad. He was so dejected and hurt that he went off and killed himself a week later. Like, he's dead, he's gone. And if you read his suicide note, it breaks my heart, man. This is a guy that was like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm done. No one trusts me. No one believes me. It's just horrible. It's just so bad. But in his suicide note, he kind of defended himself. I'm like, yeah, see, it suddenly doesn't sound as bad as it did when you just hear out of context message from some woman who said this is what happened. And it's like, well, is it true? Did this actually happen the way you said that it did? Look, I'm all for like being real and like taking it seriously, but I'm not one person who's like, believe all women. Just because a woman said this happened means it happened. I'm like, I don't know you, so you could be attacking somebody just out of spite. I don't know. So anyway, that's the brief rundown. So yeah, sorry, I'm scrolling back. I see a bunch of you were typing as I was talking, but yeah, the town, that's Ed Piskor. If you look him up, if you do a Google search, you'll find it out. You can find out about him. Antoine, you're right, guys. You got to be more vigilant, especially if you're successful. You got to be careful with what you say. Yeah, Adam Brooks, you're right. Ed Piskor had an art show that was coming up, that was canceled on him, like his art in a museum. He had a publishing deal for $75,000 that was gone. People were like boycotting his YouTube show, which was a big source of income, I'm sure. I think that if Ed would have just stuck it out, he was so mad because he's like, he didn't deserve to be in that situation in the first place. Yeah, Antoine, see, Ed, again, we don't know the full context or the full, the full story, but he didn't do anything illegal. It was questionable. It was a little bit like, come on, dude, don't be stupid. Yeah, the town idiots say that's messed up. I fully believe in approaching every situation like that seriously, but you should be talking to a court of law, not YouTube comment. Yeah, but that's the thing. Everyone on YouTube was piling on, online, social media, just the worst person on the planet is what they were trying to make him out to be. And it wasn't that way at all. Yeah, the local news showed his parents' house. They gave out his address. Yeah. Adam Brooks said, you wish he waited one more week, any amount of time, just to see how much love there was for him. Exactly. People are just like how much love there is for him now. And his mom and dad got to bury one of their kids. His brothers and sisters have to explain to their little children why Uncle Eddie's gone. It makes me sad. Like I've been more affected by this than a lot of things. It really hit home to me for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why. But it's just like, he seemed like such a strong guy and a guy who wouldn't take this kind of shit from anybody. But it got to him. It showed that he's human and he's flawed and he has a heart and a soul, and it tore him apart, defeated him, broke him. And he felt like the only way out was to, as much as I don't want to know, I also kind of want to know, like, how did he do it? Did he shoot himself? It's horrible to say, but it's like, what did he do? How did he do it? I kind of hope they never release that information, but if they do, I know I'll be looking it up. See, Antoine, I feel the same. Yes, you feel like I let him down somewhat. Guys like me should have been speaking up just as loudly as the detractors. I'm nobody, but maybe it would have mattered just a bit. I feel the same, man. But the mob would be like, oh, so you're justifying, like, assaulting a young girl. Then you would, but it puts you in the crosshairs because people are so, like, want to be white knighting, defending, justifying. And I feel the same way. Like, I should have. I did say online. I tried to stay out of it. I certainly did not say anything about it on my channel at all. That's what really pissed me off, is seeing YouTube people like posting every day about it just to get like their channel up. Oh, this is a big story, and I didn't do anything about it until it was all over. And I made one video on it on my channel, and it's already pretty much my highest viewed video, with almost 10,000 views. Is just me talking about the situation and how sad it is and how much it sucks. But I feel the same, man. Like, what if more of us stood up and said, hey, why don't everybody just shut the fuck up and wait till Ed responds, wait till the facts come out. Let's just hear more rather than let's just jump on right now and try to tear a guy down. Yeah, I feel like maybe we should have spoken up louder. Adam Brooks, I didn't know that. Seriously, I haven't bothered to go look. Most of those channels erased those videos as soon as he died. Oh, man. It's such chicken shit. Pat K says, nice work posting on Discord. Are you part of my Discord, Pat K? I will be. I tend to. Yeah, Town Hit, you said you're too scared to get attacked or doxxed. People online are actually psychotic. Yeah, that's the thing. we live in a messed up, sick society, honestly, and it's kind of scary, you know. So many fucked up people out there. I think there's more good people than bad people, but the bad people are very loud and very scary. Oh yeah, Pat K. Blood Force. Yep, I know Blood Force Mitch. I gotta repost my Discord link again. Guys, I might have to wrap this up here right quick. Gotta go make sure my kids haven't tried to burn down my house and remind them that Daddy's here still. The town, it honestly, I've been having kind of the same feeling. Yeah, the way the world's getting insane, I have, it's hard to feel hopeful. It's too much insanity going on. Antoine, yeah, just using my iPhone. I have two. This is my old phone. I keep this aside to just use as like just an extra device. But this one that I'm recording on is just my everyday phone. That's got a better camera than this one. So yeah, I just use my iPhone. It's all I use.
Bluetooth pairing.
Oh geez. Yeah, Antoine, it's like, yeah, it's scary out there, right? And just kind of keep our head down and try to survive and wait for the pressure cooker of the world to explode, which the next time it's going to explode is going to be in November. However that turns out, people are going to lose their mind one way or the other. But there's a lot of weirdness going on in American society, and I don't like it. D-Man, you never had hope, right? I know. It's hard too. It's hard to have hope. Mika Hope says hello. Well, hello, Mika Hope. You're right about that, D-Man. That's why they went after Ed. Here's a guy who made comics, and he did it with like swag and cocky attitude. But in my opinion, he earned that shit. He's been making comics. They sell. People wanted his work. Hip Hop Family Tree was really successful. X-Men Grand Design was really successful. He's about to sign a $75,000 deal for Switchblade Shorties. He could make shit that sold, and he did it with like a cocky attitude, and I actually appreciate it. I know some people didn't like his attitude and his swagger and his vibe. Felt like he was kind of fake. I'm like, I don't feel like he was fake. I just felt like that was him. It's just that's just who Ed was. And we can all be different. Not many of us put ourselves out there for everyone else to judge. And a guy can be cocky, in my opinion, as long as you've earned it. And he, like I said, he earned it. So I'm like, yeah, he can talk all the shit he wants because he can back his shit up with stuff that sells and people appreciate. So like you said, people with no talent wanted to tear him down, and they got him. They killed him. They've actually killed somebody now. And they're all going, what? I didn't do that. What are you talking about? We didn't kill anybody. Mm-hmm. Tell yourself that at night to sleep comfortably. I've seen some of the art, Antoine, about Adam Hughes' ghost work. I've seen some of it, but I haven't actually read the work. It's one of those things where I keep hoping to locate a collection of it in one of these days, maybe. Let's see. Pat K, you've seen a few of my videos, or mostly Rob Liefeld was heavily criticized. That's true. I go hard on Liefeld, but his artwork makes it so easy because it's so fucking atrocious. Tom Gristle says, will you add color to these pages eventually? My comic is black and white. I was talking about that a little bit ago. I can't color. I can't afford to pay somebody to color. And printing a 120-page comic in full color is very expensive. So I just keep my stuff black and white. Obviously, I pay people to color the covers. But, like, I'll show them once again. Like, I paid a guy to color this book. So that's the cover. And then the back cover, I paid a guy to do that. Because I got to have the color on the covers. I mean, I don't have to, but I choose to. And then the same thing with book 4 here. And the back. But yeah, all my stuff is I just do black and white. Oh shit, I went all adult Sin City on that page right there. Well, like I was saying, guys, I might need to wrap it up. I'm going to go check on my kids. This has been fun, guys. I appreciate everyone who stopped in. A bunch of you who I don't think I've spoken to before. Antoine Dennison, I don't think I've spoken to you before, but I enjoyed our conversations a lot. The Tone Idiot, thank you. Adam Brooks, Tom, D-Man, of course, Pat K. Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. This was fun. It was fun. These are always a good time. So, all right, guys. I will catch you. Me and Jessica should be on tomorrow. I can't. We haven't decided if it's going to be 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock, but I'll announce it. I'll put up a post on the channel for anyone who gives a shit. Me and excuse me. We and Jessica should be drawn tomorrow night too. So, and it's always fun with Jessica because she's way more charming than I am. So, all right, guys. Thanks, Town Idiot. I appreciate it. I feel weird calling you the Town Idiot, but that's your name, right? That's your handle, so that's what you get called. Appreciate it. All right, guys.